So with Lauren, being alive now and everything, like this is a major moment because we know that Tariq has kind of been brooding over her for a little bit. It kind of hit him a little bit when he learned that she passed away or whatever. And he's kind of, it seems like he's been dealing with that psychologically a little bit still. So now that she is alive, I wanted to ask you guys, like, how might this affect Tariq's journey in this season, because this could go so many ways because we see right now that Tariq and Effie are very close, so Lauren being alive could fracture that relationship. And then, also Tariq might find that he still has feelings for her. Like when he discovers she's alive, he might be like, wow, she's still alive. Like, there's still a possibility of me escaping this life and being with her. And, it might awaken some feelings in him. So, um, but there's also the fact that Jenny Sullivan, she's actually trying to use Lauren as a means to take down Tariq and everyone else. So she is kind of a thorn in his side now. She's kind of dangerous for him. So how is this gonna, affect his journey now, moving forward? Do you think? And I'll go to you first this time, Rich. What do you think?
Well, let me start by saying I think this is an excellent story for them to dive into this season. We know last season that when all this stuff was happening with Tariq, Lauren, she was involved in this whole situation of getting him thrown into prison, but she never ever knew what was happening. This is something where she was being used by Carrie Milgram. So obviously she didn't know that this was happening. So, and then when she did find out, she was trying to correct it. But she has basically been the only one that has been in his corner. Yeah, we can say the same for Effie and Braden as well, but she's really been there in his corner trying to, she never suspected he did anything wrong. So I kind of feel like as this season goes on, you have eventually she's going to have to come to a revelation of, does she want to turn against Tariq, or is she going to continue to believe everything is all right with him? That's one question. The other thing is that we know that when Effie and Braden supposedly took out her, they also were telling Kane this entire time, oh yeah, she's dead. When Kane finds out that she's alive, this creates a dynamic of that whole situation being an issue as well. Because Kane has been very flirtatious with Effie, trying to get close to Effie, and we see that continuing in this episode here. So it really is a trust issue that's going to be a problem, first and foremost with Tariq, because he's going to want to know the truth of what really happened with Lauren, who was involved. And I kind of feel at some point, because they did show in the season trailer, Effie having a very serious conversation with Tariq. He did not look happy as they were having that conversation. So my assumption is eventually they're going to have to tell him what happened. But then the whole thing with Kane wanting her taken off the board because she had that wire. Well, we already know that eventually, at some point, it will be a confrontation between Kane and Tariq. We have been talking about that happening since the beginning of this show, because that both characters do not like each other. That yes, they will work together, but they do not like each other. Now, if Kane was to go after Lauren, now this is an interesting situation here for Tariq, right? Because he doesn't want to see that happening. He considers Lauren innocent. So I can't wait to see how they tell this story throughout the season. Because again, Kane will find out at some point. And the question is going to be, well, who is he going to blame for that? Is he going to come after Braden? He can come after Braden, sure. Can he come after Tariq as well? I mean, it's I don't know how they're going to tell the story, but I just want to say it's going to be very interesting to see how this all comes together, because it's a question about trust, loyalty, so on and so forth. And it may not end the way that we think it's going to end, but let's see what happens for sure. But I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dana, any thoughts on that, on Lauren and how it might affect Tariq?
Yeah, Richard was right. I think there's going to be a big implosion because you have, Tariq and Lauren was very connected, and he's literally being made to feel guilt. Well, I can't even say being made to, but he feels guilty, and he is he feels like he is responsible for her death, right? You have the fact that Effie and Braden are lying to him. Those are his close friends. Kane's involved because even though while Kane did not directly lie to Tariq, at least I don't think he did, he knows the truth and he's going to be upset that Braden and Effie didn't actually kill her. And I don't think they really had that intentions to kill her, because if you look at the situation, they put her in a lake and it didn't even look like it was deep. It looked like it was shallow. And the guy just happened to come and find them. Another thing which is weird, because if you look at, I was slightly wondering, when he found her, he called the police, and then automatically Jenny knew. Did she pick up the call? Did they this text message her? Because that was her CI. So I'm a little bit confused as the timeline of when Jenny found out that she was being, attempted murder, basically. Also, the fact that it was attempted murder, nobody thought of bringing up a charge on that. Interesting. But then you have Lauren is alive. She has regained full consciousness and her memory. She knows who tried to kill her. So she's going to tell Tariq that if they ever do have that reunion. She's going to tell him that. And I strongly believe he's going to take her side no matter what. This is when we had the whole comparison with, what was it, Angela and Tasha. And I feel that she could be Tariq's Angela in this situation. And as we know, he always chose Angela over Tasha, even in death. I think they were smiling when he died. Angela was like, "Yay, now he's mine." So I do genuinely feel that he is going to pick Lauren over Effie, maybe even Braden. So this whole situation is going to just implode. And then on top of that, the problem comes in with Lauren, whether or not she wants to testify. And remember, the whole thing is to bring up charges against Tariq. But we do know if there's a situation where she can testify against Braden and Effie, she's going to pick that. So this further tears them all apart. And I don't know right now whether or not you can come back from that. We've seen the Super Friends come back multiple times on the original Power. But is this something that is just completely unforgivable? I don't know. And then also, Braden, I think, will be fine because we kept hearing the Weston name. And it was a whole quote about, using your power. So I think he would be fine. But the other ones, they won't be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll be fine. And you said something that I very much agree with. And that is, I do think that the Lauren character might end up being Tariq's Angela. Like, I think that his heart has chosen her. So I do think that if he should find out that she's alive, and that is possible because, you have characters like Sax and Davis McLean who could find out what Jenny is up to, and they could pass that information back on Tariq, and then Tariq might actually try to get to her or go looking for her or something of that nature. And if he manages to find a way to talk to her or get to her, he could. I believe he could talk her out of being a witness and helping Jenny and stuff. So I do think that it's absolutely possible that those two characters could get back together and become like the main power couple kind of thing. And I feel like with Effie is a bit shaky anyway at the moment because like she has some chemistry with Kane. It looks like, those two characters are kind of like flirty. It looks like something might develop there. I don't know. But I just feel like Tariq likes Effie, but I feel like his heart isn't there like it is with Lauren. I think Lauren is the one that, he would ideally like to be with. So I could see something like that happening later on.